All right, so we're going to be looking through this Kahoot to review for our little quiz on linear functions. The first question is just identify the slope and the y-intercept. So you can see here, whenever it's in y equals mx plus b form, the slope is just that number that's attached to the x, which is like an implied 1. So it's going to be -1 for our slope. And then the other number, -3, that's going to be our y-intercept. Okay. All right, question 2. Which equation has a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 2? So it's going to have to be a 3x in order for it to have a slope of 3. And we want that y-intercept to be a positive 2. All right, the red one has a -2, so that one's wrong. 3x plus 2. All right, what's the slope of the line graphed below? All right, so I noticed first thing that it's a positive slope because it's angled uphill, I guess. Or, from left to right, the function is getting bigger. It's getting taller. It's either 2 or 1/2. All right, so if you look at this little spot right here and this little point right here, we're just going to count that rise and run. So we're going to go up 1 and then over 2. So the top number of the fraction, that's going to be our rise, which was +1. And then we had to run. We had to go left and right 2 spaces. Okay. So 1/2 is going to be the slope of this line. All right, slope between B and C. All right, there's B and C right there. And to get from B to C, you just have to go down 1 and then over 1. All right, so that's going to be a -1 over 1 for the slope. Okay, so this one's one of those special cases. Because it's a vertical line, it's going to have to be an x equals. And it's looking like it's a 3 right there. The idea is that every point, whether it's point B or point A, they always have an x coordinate of +3. This one is 3, -1, and that one's 3, 3. But the important thing is that the x value is always 3. Right. All right, the slope of the line graph below. All right, the slope. This one's going to be a 0 slope. The rise and run between those 2 points, it rises 0, and then it runs 4. So that would be like 0 over 4 for your slope, which just comes out to be 0. All right. Whenever it's a horizontal line like that, they have 0 slope. Okay, so based on the table, we're going to find the slope and the y-intercept. So it looks like the y-intercept is going to be 5. All right, so the b is going to have to be 5 here. If you plug in 0 for x, that's how you find the y-intercept. To find my slope, what I want to look at is how the y values are changing and then how the x values are changing. So if you look at all the y values, they're going down by 2. Okay, so they all have a difference of 2. All right, that's going to be my rise. And then on the x values, they all have a difference of 3. So that's going to be my run. All right, it's going to be 2/3, but the reason it's negative is because as the x values are getting bigger, these y values here are getting smaller and smaller. All right. If you wanted to, you could just pick out these first 2 points right here, 0, 5, and 3, 3, and then do the slope formula in order to find the slope. All right. negative 2/3. All right, this one's going to be a y equals, and it looks like it's going to be a 3. Yep. Every point on this line has a y value of 3. Okay. Line graph below. Yep. So whenever they were horizontal, we said that they had 0 slope. For this one, it's going to be undefined slope whenever it's a vertical line. Because to get from A to B, you have to rise 4. So 4 would be the top number of our slope. And then you had to run 0. And 4 divided by 0 is undefined. Slope and the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is going to be the place right here where it crosses this y-axis. So the y-intercept is 0. All right, so it just rules out the red one. And then our slope is positive. I know that because it's going uphill. So we'll just count the rise and the run. All right, we have to go up 3 for the rise and then run 1. So it's going to be 3 over 1, which reduces down to 3. All right, that'll be it for this one. I'll split this video up.